Welcome to The Explainer. So you're studying for your AWS Cloud Practitioner exam, and you know those connectivity questions are going to pop up. Well, don't worry. Today, we're going to break down all the essential services you need to know, turning these tricky network concepts into your own personal study guide for the big day.
Okay, let's start by boiling this all down to two big problems that every single cloud architect has to solve. First, how do you get your own on-premises data center talking to your stuff in the AWS cloud? And second, once you have a bunch of different virtual networks inside AWS, how do you connect those to each other? The tools you pick for these jobs, well, they're going to define everything. Your network's performance, its security, and yeah, of course, how much it's going to cost.
So here's our game plan. We'll start by building out our connectivity toolkit. Then we'll see exactly how these tools connect your office network to AWS, and then how they connect your cloud networks to each other. And we'll wrap it all up with a quick and dirty architect's cheat sheet to make sure these key facts are locked in for your exam.
All right, let's start building our toolkit. Look, to really nail this for the exam, you can't just memorize definitions. You've got to think like an architect. So we're going to focus on the what, why, and when for the key services: Site-to-Site VPN, Direct Connect, VPC Peering, and the big one that ties it all together, Transit Gateway.
First up, let's tackle the most common scenario out there: connecting your company's private office network to your AWS Virtual Private Cloud, your VPC. Remember, a VPC is just your own private, isolated slice of the AWS cloud. Getting this connection right is absolutely key for building a hybrid cloud, and AWS gives you two main ways to pull it off.
So the first tool in our belt is the Site-to-Site VPN. The best way to think about this is like a secure, armored car that drives your data over the public internet highway. It's pretty quick to get going, and it uses really strong encryption. But because it's traveling on a public road, the traffic and travel time can be a little unpredictable.
In this diagram, it lays it out perfectly. Over on the right, you've got your customer network. On the left, there's your AWS VPC. And what's connecting them right smack in the middle? The public internet. The VPN just creates this secure, encrypted tunnel to protect your data as it makes that journey.
Now for something totally different: AWS Direct Connect. Okay, so if a VPN is that armored car on the public highway, Direct Connect is like having your own private, dedicated superhighway built straight from your data center to AWS. It completely bypasses the public internet.
Now, what's really fascinating about this diagram is what's missing. Look closely. See that? There's no internet cloud in the middle. It's a direct, physical link from your network right into an AWS Direct Connect location. And that gives you a super consistent, low-latency path right into your VPC.
For the exam, this table is pure gold. You have got to know these differences. VPN is fast to set up, cheaper, and encrypted by default, but it's at the mercy of the public internet. Direct Connect gives you massive, consistent performance over a private line, but it costs more, takes longer to set up, and this is a huge exam fact, it is not encrypted by default.
Okay, so we've connected our office to the cloud. Now let's tackle challenge number 2. As your company grows in the cloud, you're going to have multiple VPCs, maybe one for development, one for production, another for analytics. So, how do you get them all talking to each other securely and privately? Well, the simplest tool for this job is VPC Peering. Just think of it like plugging a network cable directly between two VPCs. It's a one-to-one connection. Once they're peered, all the resources inside can talk to each other using private IPs just like they were on the same local network. It's super simple and really effective for basic connections.
But here's the catch, and this diagram shows it perfectly. To connect 3 VPCs, you actually need 3 separate peering connections. You have to create this full mesh. If VPC 1 wants to talk to VPC 3, it can't just send its traffic through VPC 2. No, it needs its own dedicated link. You can see how this gets really complicated really fast as you add more VPCs.
So the crucial exam point, the thing you have to remember, is this: VPC peering is non-transitive. Think of it like direct flights. Just because there's a flight from New York to Chicago and another one from Chicago to LA, that doesn't mean you can get from New York to LA on that route. You'd need a separate, direct flight. It's the exact same idea.
So to solve this scaling nightmare, AWS created Transit Gateway. Instead of that messy web of direct connections, Transit Gateway acts as a central cloud router, kind of like a regional network hub. Each VPC connects to the hub just once, and from there it can talk to any other network that's also connected. It's a beautiful, clean hub-and-spoke model that scales.
All right, let's bring it all home. Time to consolidate everything we've just learned into a rapid-fire review. This is your final cheat sheet to lock in these concepts before you walk into that exam.
This table right here, this is your ultimate study guide. For connecting your office to AWS, you've got VPN for quick and encrypted, and Direct Connect for high-performance private lines. For connecting your VPCs together, peering is simple for one-to-one. But when you need to connect a whole bunch of them at scale, Transit Gateway is your go-to hub-and-spoke solution. Burn these facts into your brain. Now, let's reframe this for those tricky scenario-based questions on the exam. If a question ever mentions a quick, cheap, or encrypted connection, your mind should immediately jump to VPN. If they talk about consistent high-bandwidth performance, maybe for a huge data migration, you should be thinking Direct Connect. And if it's just two simple VPCs that need to talk, start with VPC Peering.
Let's just hammer home the most critical exam facts one more time. First, you have to remember this. That private, dedicated line from Direct Connect is not encrypted by default. To secure that traffic, you actually have to layer on an encryption protocol yourself or even run a VPN over your Direct Connect link.
And yes, I'm going to say it again because it's so important for the exam. VPC peering is non-transitive. It's a direct, point-to-point connection only. So if you see an exam question with 3 or 4 or 5 VPCs that all need to communicate, and you see VPC peering as an answer choice, be very suspicious. It's usually a trap, pointing you towards a hub-and-spoke solution like Transit Gateway.
And there you have it. You now have the Architect's Toolkit for AWS connectivity. You get the trade-offs between speed, security, complexity, and cost. So as you finish up here, ask yourself, for connecting a new branch office, or migrating a massive database, or just linking your dev and prod environments, which tool are you going to choose? Your ability to answer that question is exactly what's going to help you ace this exam.